Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this presentation regarding what you are going to find and see and hope to find in Pittsburgh. We are certainly very happy, very delighted that you are coming to hold your meeting in our town. We're very proud of Pittsburgh, and this is the city that has, as the cliche goes, risen from the ashes and from the old steel mills and industry into a hub of biotech, science, technology, robotics, and lots of developments that carried the torch that was started by people like Jonas Salk and Thomas Starzl and other people like David McCullough and Andy Warhol. Okay. As you can see, the co-hosts are Dr. Natasha Baker from the School of Dental Medicine and myself from the Arts and Sciences at the University of Pittsburgh. However, our committee is really from lots of colleagues and is formed from lots of colleagues from regional campuses and neighboring universities. So Burgoon and Bobby Leeper are from Seton Hill. Monica Graziani is from the local public school system. Lydia Stratton and Claire. Is Claire in the dental school, Natasha?
Claire's in the dental school with me, yeah.
Dental school. So Natasha and Claire are in the dental school. Lydia Stratton is in the School of Medicine. Jennifer Rakosana, Daniel Spitzer, Laurel Roberts, myself are from the biology. Jordan Hooks from Chatham University, and Bridget Deasy from the School of Rehabilitation Sciences at the University of Pittsburgh. We made sure that we encompassed lots of specialties and interests and departments because all of us are anatomy and physiology instructors, and we wanted the feedback and involvement of everyone. And definitely at heart is the involvement of colleagues in the area so that the society can grow its membership from different institutes in the greater Western Pennsylvania area. We encourage you to go into visit Pittsburgh website for information that you may or may not see on this presentation. We also encourage you to go into this interactive room, website for checking out rooms, accessibility, locations for whatever you are looking for at the University of Pittsburgh campus when we hold the workshops here. All right, expected weather, and I know it's 2 weeks, but we still are looking at good weather, but with some expectations of rain. The cliche here goes that we are like 5 days less rainy days than Seattle or something like that. So make sure that you bring in some umbrella, maybe a light jacket. Natasha reminded me that the lecture halls sometimes are a bit fresh, and so you would possibly want to have something light that you would keep in your tote bag just in case you are in a colder room than should be. But it's sunny, 70s typically in May. Rain comes and goes fast. All right, for those of you flying into the city, our airport is fairly easy, fairly simple. 4 concourses in this X shape that you would see in this diagram here. I hope that you can see my cursor. A, B, C, and D, depends on which airline you are taking. All of them will end up in a central location that has a tram connection to the luggage side, to the baggage area. So that tram is just one, you get in, you get off, no tickets, nothing, one stop. It's not like bigger airports like DFW where you have to watch out where you're going and counterclockwise or clockwise. Ground transportation, once you reach the baggage claim area, is on one side. Taxis, they have a desk and they are also outside. Ubers, lifts, and car rental services, all in the same location, fairly simple airport. There is also a bus connection, I think every 15 minutes, 28X flyer, that's what they call it. And you can get on that bus by using the app or some electronic card. They take cash, but you have to bring the exact change or just dump in $5. They won't give you any change back. The trip using Ubers, if you carpool, is about $50 to $60, half an hour to get to the airport. And this is to get to the hotel. And this is the airport. And the trip is fairly simple. You go through this beautiful tunnel where you would see the gate to the city of Pittsburgh coming from the west side on 376 or I-70. Anything you want to add, Natasha?
I think Hisham has his hand up, so let's take a question.
Yeah, quick question for the bus. Like, what's the name of the station to get off the bus?
There are two markers on the ground transportation side that say 28X.
Yeah, but for like, you know, which stop to go to the hotel?
That's a good question. I think it's the first stop downtown, but I don't remember which one. It might be something called Wood Street. So the first stop in downtown would be the one. And after that, it's probably 5 minutes walk.
Okay, so the closest stop is 5 minutes walk to the hotel. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's not really outside the hotel, that's for sure.
Okay. Okay.
I can find out, Hisham, if you want me to.
Yeah, if possible, or I can ask the driver, like, you know, whatever works, or I can Google it.
Yeah, their schedule is a PDF file, and it's from the airport and to the airport, and every station is listed. So you would be able to see that on the PDF file. So I can find out and just email you that.
Perfect.
PDF
Thank
sheet.
you so much. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, the same thing. If I add another question here, like a similar question, I have not booked a hotel. I don't know what the host hotel is. I know I'm kind of late to do all of this. I did everything last minute. Is there any other hotel that you recommend, or like
I'm staying at, I didn't mean to interject, but I'm staying at the Courtyard Marriott, Settlers Ridge, which is about 10 miles outside of downtown Pittsburgh. They have really good rates, $4 a night to park. You obviously have to drive into downtown, but it's really good rating and you know and stuff like that. But I mean, I would check in with the hotel to see if there's any last minute room cancellations. That might be another option. There are other downtown hotels that you could possibly stay in.
Yeah.
okay.
Possibly the Marriott and Hilton are in almost every neighborhood of the area. I would choose something near campus in Oakland. So if you
Okay.
email me, I would be able to send you a couple of names, just because you would be nearer to the workshops on 2 days. So either you are downtown or, for example, Indigo, Hilton, the Marriott, the Wyndham, all of them have within the Oakland area some hotels. And hopefully you'll be able to find something.
So anything near campus, right?
Either near campus or downtown. That will be avoiding you travel by car or by rental cars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm planning to take Uber probably because I'm coming from Virginia, so I don't know. The commute is going to be a little, I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah,
Natasha.
I would lean on the side of downtown because we're going to have buses taking you to the workshops from downtown to campus. So I would look to see if there's anything downtown first that works for you. And then if you can't find anything, then the next thing I would do is look on the Oakland campus because there's lots of public buses that can take you back downtown for those first 2 days. Sorry, Caitlin.
Okay,
No, I was
thank
just
you.
going to answer the question. So the host hotel is the Wyndham Grand Pittsburgh downtown. The address is on the conference website, but it's 600 Commonwealth Place. So I think the block is full, but there may be some rooms available, probably not at the right rate for
If
you
you
to
could put the
purchase.
name in the chat, then I would appreciate that, or their number, anything. I can call them and contact if
Yeah.
there's any cancellation. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. And what I would also suggest is if there are no additional rooms or they're not within your price range, because that's typically how that goes, I would just do a Google search and kind of do around that area, like Natasha had suggested, because you'll
Okay.
want to be at the hotel to take the transportation to the workshops. So
Okay. Okay. So if you could include, okay, that's the address. Got it.
So I have two quick questions because I'm not going to be, I don't know how long this is going to last and I have to go. How far is Point Park University Murray's workshops from the Wyndham
About
Hotel?
0.4 miles. This is in a slide coming in a second.
Okay. And then the other question I had was, are there separate buses that are going to be going to the anatomical donor stewardship, the
Yeah.
two workshops?
The
Yes.
answer is yes.
Okay.
All right, so you arrived at the airport, you get to the hotel, or you are thinking of driving to the hotel, which I understand at least one person is going to be doing that. You are, if you can see my cursor, you are going to be going through this area here, this 376 tunnel, and you are going to find yourself at this beautiful view of a gate to the city of Pittsburgh. Stay on 70A exit, the middle exit, because you want to get to this yellowish looking huge calculator of a hotel here. That's where the conference is going to be. If you are driving from the south and west, it's exactly like you are coming from the airport. You're going to be taking 70A exit. From the east, you are going to be on 376 and exit Stanwix, then make a left into the hotel. And if you're driving from the north, you're going to be Interstate 279 and exit downtown and possibly make a left, then another left, and then you are in the hotel area. Anything else you want to add, Natasha, to this story?
Just if you're driving, and I think Laurie, this will apply to you, coming from Settlers Ridge, coming through this Fort Pitt tunnel can be a little bit stressful. I think this is actually like a meme. It's like you've got so many feet. These people want to go this way. These people want to go that way. So, you know, everybody gets through it. Don't worry. But like, yeah, prepare yourself. It's you come out the tunnel and then there's like 4 lanes and you've got to find your lane within about 30 feet or so. It's it can be a little stressful, but it's great that Burhan put this picture in, and yeah, you want to go for that.
So you
Burhan,
said
can
there
you
is a
highlight
bus
the
though, right? If I'm interrupting, from the airport to the hotel, right? You said there's a shuttle bus. Like for those of us who are not driving, I'm coming from Virginia, so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not driving. So okay.
So yeah, so the bus will drive this for you, and you won't have to worry. You can just take in the lovely view if you're on the bus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very likely the buses are going to be letting you off in this area here, PPG Place and related areas, and then you would just walk. I think if
Okay.
this is wood, it might be this corner or this corner. But I would double check the PRT buses. What do they call them? The Pittsburgh Regional Transit website. They would have all the information that you would need. All right. So
By
we're
the
going to
way,
be
the
in this.
address of the hotel was on the just last slide here. So
Yes,
that's that,
600
yeah.
Commonplace. That's the address of the hotel. And
It's
the
not
actual,
coming up in my search when I put that in. I'm getting a commonplace coffee,
Oh,
but if it's at the Wyndham, you're saying, yeah?
yeah.
yeah, the Wyndham Grand Pittsburgh.
Strange. Yeah, okay, well,
Wyndham Grand downtown.
that'll
If
make
you
it
Google-
easier.
Yeah, if you Google that, hopefully it will come up.
And I wanted to clarify, so there will be buses available to purchase from that website that Burhan had mentioned, the 28X, I think. There are not HAPS sponsored buses to pick you up from the airport. I do want to provide that important clarification to make sure folks understand. The only buses that HAPS provides through the registration cost would be to take you from the Wyndham to the workshops on the last 2 days. So I just want to clarify that part.
And just a question, so I'll be vending, my company is going to be displaying our merchandise there. So that'll be strictly at the hotel, yes?
Correct. Yep. Exhibitors are only at the hotel, like exhibiting at the hotel, but you can attend the workshops.
Okay, that's great.
So where are the workshops? At the hotel, right?
No, those are at the University of Pittsburgh.
University of Pittsburgh. Okay. Do we have to register for those workshops individually, or like if we register for the whole thing, we can go to whichever one we want?
You do not have to pre-select any of the workshops with the exception of the anatomical donor stewardship ones. And those are a separate registration, and we can put the link to that in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we are in this area, in this hotel, for the 21st, 2nd, 3rd, right, Caitlin? And then the 24th, the 25th are going to be at the University of Pittsburgh.
Yes, sir.
Transportation to the University of Pittsburgh will be from outside the lobby here in using charter buses. But while you are in that area, if you are interested in seeing the local neighborhoods, the Strip District is nearby. North Shore is nearby. We are downtown right in this area here. And then the workshops in the last 2 days will be in Oakland part of the city, central Oakland in particular. The workshop that Mary is going to hold, the cooperative learning, Mary Jensen's workshop, is going to be held at Point Park University. This is the street address 231 Wood Street. And it's a 0.4 mile straight shot walk from the hotel, crossing the street on the pedestrian path, and then Boulevard of the Allies. It should not be that difficult. If we have enough ushers and local committee wearing distinctive T-shirts on the corners, I think we might just need them to get people through here and then stand on the last corner. So we don't anticipate any problems. And this is walking, no buses for that first day workshop. If you are registered for that, this I think has 40 persons who are doing this pre-conference workshop. Did I get that right, Caitlin?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Fun run. While we are in the hotel area attending workshops, and one of the mornings, we are going to be doing the 5K run or the 1 mile run walk. And simply, we leave the lobby into station number 1, which is going to be right here outside of the Point State Park, where there is a huge fountain. Most likely it's going to be under maintenance at that time. We gather here, we go across into this underpass, and then we make a right on this pedestrian path. So crossing the Fort Duquesne Fort Pitt foundations, it's like a historic place. Pedestrian path is above the river. At the end of this pedestrian path is the 1 mile point. You make a U-turn and come back a half a mile, and then you will be completing a mile by the time you get back to the lobby. If you are doing the 5K, you are going to descend to the street level and start running across the North Shore or on the cement pavement path all the way into where you would find the finish line with a table and a couple of people, or a station with a couple of ushers wearing their T-shirts saying, okay, now you can make a U-turn and come back to the hotel and go back to the hotel. I don't know how many people are registered for the fun run, but typically about 50 people would run together. So you shouldn't have any problems doing that. Typically 7 to 8 in the morning before one of the days, not on the workshop days. All right, this is another view from Google Earth for what we are going to do for the run and the fun walk. That's a 1.5 miles. Coming back, that's another 1.5 miles. Natasha, you want to take care of this slide? I think you are better rehearsed than me for the narrative here.
I don't know about that. If you're staying at the hotel, as Caitlin says, the only buses that are already paid for are the buses that are going to take you to the workshops. And so what will happen is the morning of the workshops, there'll be several buses taking people from the hotel, the Wyndham Grand. If you're staying nearby, just get yourself to the Wyndham. They'll be picking up at the front of there. And they'll take you to Pittsburgh's campus where our workshops are. So they're going to drop you on a street just across the road from this lovely red brick building here. This is William Pitt Union. This is kind of like our base on the Pittsburgh campus. It's where you'll be eating breakfast and lunch. If you are driving to campus, we recommend parking at Soldiers and Sailors, which is just across the road from William Pitt Union. Burhan is circling there where you enter the car park. So the car park is actually underneath this green here. We've been told it will cost about $5 a day for both Saturday and Sunday to park in there. And so once you come out of there, or if you've gotten dropped off by the bus, you're going to make your way across the road, and we'll have signs and ushers directing you there. You'll make your way across the road to William Pitt Union, where we'll be serving breakfast. If you are planning on going to the ADS workshops in the anatomy labs, you will then go back to the bus stop and you'll pick up a smaller bus, which will shuttle you to our anatomy labs. It is, so this is like this is a lovely bird's eye view of everything. So here you can see where Burhan is circling. There's William Pitt Union. That's where all the food is. If you're going to any other workshops, you'll take a short walk to Lawrence Hall here, where his cursor is now. If you are going to one of the morning ADS workshops, you'll go back to where the bus is dropping off, and you'll pick up just a small shuttle. We have a small shuttle, and that will take you up to the anatomy lab here. This is walkable. So if it's a nice day and you want to walk, it should take about 10-15 minutes, but be warned that this is a hill. And the locals call it Cardiac Hill. So you may be huffing and puffing by the time you get to the top. If you take the shuttle is going to drop you off kind of where Burhan's cursor is, by this big building that we call the Peterson Event Center. That's where we have a lot of sports, basketball, volleyball, and things. It'll drop you there, and then we will guide you to Scaife Hall, which is across the road to Peterson Event Center, and we'll guide you to the anatomy labs, which are in there. That shuttle is going to keep running back and forth throughout the morning, and so if you stay right until the end of
for version 2, we figured out
sorry, I lost my trail of thought. If you stay till the end of the workshops, the shuttle will still be there to take you back down. It's just going to keep doing loops all morning on both Saturday and Sunday. Burhan, could you go back a slide? Yeah, so that bus drop-off pickup here, if you are leaving early on Saturday or Sunday, there will be one bus running throughout the day that goes between the workshops and the Wyndham Grand if you want to go back to the hotel. Or if you plan on leaving from the workshops and not going back to the hotel, in a few slides, we'll show you a picture just a little bit up from where Burhan's cursor is. There's the bus stop. Yeah, the 28X picks up there. So we will have a room in William Pitt Union for you to store your luggage. And so if you need to leave the conference from the workshop, area, you can pick up an Uber or get the 28X right here on Fifth Avenue.
I have a question very quickly. You just mentioned a room to
Oh, wow.
store the luggage. I'm going to the ADS workshops on both Saturday and Sunday. But then my presentation is 15 minutes after one of the workshops. Or my workshop presentation is 15 minutes after the conclusion of the ADS workshop. Would I be able to actually make it to my work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think you would. So you could definitely walk it in 15 minutes and it will be downhill, so it won't be too bad.
Okay.
But depending on where the shuttle is,
Yeah.
yeah, it might be a bit of a gamble. Let's chat over email about that, because I'm also a little worried that you'll get there, but you won't have much time to set up.
Prep, yeah.
And so let's chat over email to make sure we can get you there.
Or
In-
chat in the first couple of days of the meeting, I guess.
I would
Yeah.
rather do it over email, only because it actually, my presentation, it has 4 poster boards, so I would more or less have to store the poster boards where the workshops are being held and not carry them into the labs, more or less, or in the building in the labs. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that you definitely want to do that. And maybe we could even work it so that,
Yeah.
you know, everything is close to the room you've been assigned.
Sure.
You also gave me another thing to mention. If you are attending those ADS workshops, there will be lockers for storing jacket, purse, that sort of thing, before you change into a lab coat. Just small things, yeah. So if you have big things, make sure you store them at William Pitt Union.
Are we provided like PPE, like safety goggles and stuff like that?
Yes, the
Okay.
University of Pittsburgh is donating that actually. So
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
And may I interrupt for a second? Like usually the workshops, like they are always recommended to end a little bit earlier than the scheduled time. So if you have 15 minutes between the anatomy workshop and your own workshop, so hopefully it would be more than 15 minutes. So
Yes.
it
Yeah.
will end like, you know, 25 minutes or something. So if you are quick, I think you should be like very easily attending your or catching your the beginning of your workshop, and you'll be able to set up and do everything quickly.
Yes. And I just want to make sure, is this being recorded and sent to today's participants? Because I just want to go over the Settlers Ridge thing again, because that's making me a little nervous.
Me too. I'm really nervous. I feel like I'm gonna get lost. Like a whole bunch of buildings. I don't know which is which here.
Yeah.
So like I'm feeling I'm gonna definitely miss some workshops while trying to figure out where I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
This is making me really nervous, actually.
So I'll clarify that we will have this recording sent out to
Is there any like
everyone.
written thing, something to kind of refer, you know, like building
I
A
have-
room, you go, you walk, you find it, easy type of stuff, written document? I tried to find that in the workshop, but there's nothing I could find.
There is. I have one more question before I have to go to teach class. It says on the first day there's a book swap and a t-shirt swap. Does that mean essentially participants donate t-shirts from their respective institutions of higher learning?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
You can bring
okay.
the book. Yeah.
So I actually just got one donated. So then where do I bring that?
So when you come to when you come on the first day at Wednesday, you can just bring it with you to that reception and just leave it on the table and folks can exchange books then.
Okay, and t-shirts.
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, cool. All right,
So
all right,
sorry.
thank you. So
So
I'm
I
gonna
will-
walk out.
So I'll say that we are going to email this out to everyone, and I think I would reiterate that you will not be alone. You will have all of your Hapsters there to help, and there really aren't that many buildings, I promise. It is all of the workshops are really happening within one location in Lawrence Hall. The only other workshop that is off-site to a different building would be the anatomy workshop. So, and there will be human signage and additional people that can help you get there. I promise it's not scary or hard. It just seems that way when you come first time, but you'll get acclimated and kind of meet some friends. And HAPS is a very warm and welcoming group of people, so you will not be alone, I promise.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any contact? Oh, I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. Contact number or something if we're like stuck to ask, or some contact person to, or just look in the website?
So all of the staff will be actually in Pittsburgh, but
Okay.
Burhan, Natasha, myself, Randy Formby, who's on this call also, and then Ali Roy, we will all be there on site. You will
Okay.
see us throughout the week, so you will know where to find us and who we are. But there is a conference app that I don't know if Burhan and Natasha are going to touch on, but I would strongly encourage downloading the app, and we will send out that information to registered attendees tomorrow. And
Thank
folks,
you.
when they get lost or they need help, the app is a great place to say, hey, does anyone know X, Y, and Z? And folks are very responsive on the app. It's almost like HAPS Facebook. It's a better version of Facebook, I'll say. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'd like to add one thing very quickly as well. Sarah, you are in good hands, and actually in excellent hands.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry, you will not get lost. Like, you'll find
Okay.
lots of people to help you, and you'll find like many people moving in the same direction where you are. So
Okay.
it, like, it's very simple, it's very easy, so don't worry at all. And
Thank
lots of
you.
people will be around you to help.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is this your first meeting, Sarah?
This is my first one. I've been to other conferences, to APS, to NABT, but for HAPS, this is my first time. So
So your
Yeah.
first timer table for breakfast on the first day is going to put you in great hands, and we will check on you every 5 minutes.
thank you so much. Thank
All
you.
right.
So it starts on the 21st, so 23rd, 22nd, 3rd, and 4th. So 3 nights hotel, right? If I have to look elsewhere. It starts on the 21st morning, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Okay.
4 nights if you are
4
going back
nights.
on Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Okay.
All
The
right.
21st is the welcome reception. So you could technically check into a hotel on the 21st. Yeah.
21st. Okay.
And last day is 25.
Mhm.
Last day is 25. So
Yeah.
21st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So 3 nights. 4 nights, I mean 4.
Four
Okay.
nights.
4
4
nights. Okay.
All right. So while you are attending the meeting in 600 Commonwealth Place, my apologies for missing out the word wealth within Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So that's the reason why our colleague could not find it on the Google Maps. While you are there, there's plenty in downtown. This map is not doing it justice. Lots of restaurants and sandwich places and cafes and so on. The area that is nearest you is called PPG Place, Market Square corner. But there is plenty in this stretch right here between Penn Avenue and Smallman Avenue. Small, what do you call it? Shorter blocks rather than a typical city block. And those restaurants are quite a few with varied menus. Morcilla is highly recommended. Gaucho Argentina is highly recommended. If you want the Pittsburgh flavor, I'm going to let Natasha talk about the Primanti Brothers. I highly recommend the Marketplace, literally 2 minutes walk from the hotel. Nicholas Cafe, huge selection of coffees and teas. They're famous for that. Meat and potatoes is not far, and Mickey's Thai is also a few blocks, short blocks, and they have, if you can find a table, and it depends. But that area, would see lots of professionals in downtown eating lunch on outside tables. They have, since COVID, they have these outside booths that they have kept, and the food is always great. Natasha, what's the story of Primanti Brothers?
Primanti Brothers is a Pittsburgh staple. We're famous for this. You'll either love it or hate it. It's basically a gigantic sandwich with lots of coleslaw and fries. The original Primanti Brothers shop is in the Strip District. So if you want the authentic experience, you can go to the Strip District, but there are locations throughout Pittsburgh, including closer to the hotel. So if you want an authentic Pittsburgh experience, that's where you go.
And it sounds like, Sarah, when you're lost, you'll definitely be able to find one of these sandwich shops. So you just duck in one of there, have a sandwich, and you'll be re-energized to find your way around.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, I need that energy, definitely.
Caitlin, you are keeping an eye on the chat line.
Yes, sir, I am.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I just forgot about that whole story. Okay, so haven't been teaching with Zoom in a couple of years, unless it's a short thing. All right. Well, also you are in the area and in the city. We are separating our slides from downtown where you are in the hotel and campus for the workshops, just so that you would be able to economize in walking and taking Ubers and so on. So while you are in the hotel area, you want to check the Monongahela and Duquesne inclines. Mount Washington overlooks the PNC Park if you are into baseball and National Aviary and the Gateway Clipper, and some pictures are coming through. The nearest to the hotel is also the North Shore, where the PNC Park and the Steelers Stadium and Mr. Rogers statue, the famous Mr. Rogers. We are in Mr. Rogers neighborhood. So here is the hotel, and if you are an avid walker, you might be able to do it in less time than 18 minutes, but you follow a pedestrian path on the bridge, an experience by itself because of the height of the bridge and the water below you. Pedestrian path in here, and the ticket counter for this Duquesne incline is in the lower floor, parking street level. And I think you pay when you exit at the top. So if you want round trip, you would pay as you exit for, I think, $5 for the round trip. And Natasha, you mentioned that they take the bus pass, right? Those inclines?
Yes. Yeah, so the inclines are part of the local public transport system, which is run by Pittsburgh Regional Transit. So if you used the airport flyer to get to downtown, it would be the same system using the incline.
Yes, and these overlooks are really worth the trouble. You might find some wedding or some people with yoga mats and sometimes bicycling exercise machines and so on. But there are 3 or 4 of them. If one of them is occupied, you just go to the next one for a beautiful view and nice pictures of the city, the whole downtown view. All right. And again, while you are in downtown, there are quite a few things to see. The Andy Warhol Museum has the biggest collection of this artist's works. There are ancillary pieces here and there and on loan, but the biggest collection is the Andy Warhol Museum. He is a Pittsburgh-born, raised artist, as you might know. The Heinz History Center is also worth looking into. Children's Museum and Carnegie Science Center for those of you who would come with family and kids in particular. While we are in the workshops at the University of Pittsburgh campus, we are nearer to the Carnegie Museum of Art and the Carnegie Museum of Natural History and the Carnegie Library, all by themselves worth a peek for sure. The cultural district is not far away from the hotel, and the map shows as you go to the Strip District, you would pass on your right-hand side on between Penn and Smallman, an area with the Byam Theater, the Pittsburgh Ballet, Pittsburgh Orchestra, and a couple of other theaters. I missed something, Natasha. So the Byam, the
Benedum. I don't know.
Benedum. Yeah, and the shows, unfortunately, because of the frame of time, not many, but there is a musical, and there is another show here, and an art exhibit, and in the Frick Art Museum, which is a little bit of a distance, not the same area, and some photography exhibits. Definitely worth checking. The cultural district by itself has also lots of restaurants and very elegant area, relatively cleaner than other parts, or maybe less residential than other parts of downtown. For those who are baseball fans, I know that John Wisco has asked about baseball at some point. So luckily, there is plenty during the conference. So they're playing 1, 2, 3, 4 games, and the view of downtown from the ballpark is magnificent. You might not see the same audience that you see in this picture, but it's definitely worth checking out. And Natasha, you said something about the food in the stadium. I definitely have tried the typical things of hot dogs and French fries and so on.
Yeah, they have pierogies and things. They have things with a Pittsburgh twist. It's a little on the expensive side, but if you're looking to try something a little bit different, they do have some food in there too.
Yes, and I think that we could mention the Riverhounds soccer team for those of you who are interested in soccer. Not as short as the north side to go to the ballpark. You would have to traverse the Smithfield Bridge, not huge, especially if you have a bicycle, one of those e-bikes. You would be able to get to the Highmark Stadium for a soccer game if you are interested. And aside from the baseball and the soccer, if you have kids, for sure, I would recommend the Science Center experience by itself. And there is an actual Navy vessel, retired submarine docked in the mouth of the Ohio River. And the tours are interesting. I've never seen a submarine before entering the submarine, and it's really worth it. And how the sleeping quarters and the kitchen galley area and so on. It's worth a look. And if you're interested in casinos, is it called the Three Rivers Casino, Natasha? The Three Rivers Casino, I believe that's the name, is also a short distance from the Science Center. So I would say a total of about 1.25 miles from the hotel. Pleasant walk, lots of joggers, runners, bicycles, dogs, geese, etc. I'm going to leave you to talk about this slide, if you don't mind, Natasha.
Sure. So as Bohan mentioned, there's lots of places to eat near the hotel. And this is just pictures of Market Square, which is close to the hotel. It's also where they filmed Inspector Gadget. If you are a movie person or a TV person, lots of things are filmed in Pittsburgh. And there are lots of sites to see regarding movies that we haven't included in this presentation. So just a little side note, if you're a movie person. Can you go to the next slide, Bohan?
Sure. This is Nicholas Coffee that I mentioned earlier. And I'm not getting anything from them, by the way. So
okay. So the north side also has some attractions. The National Aviary is there, which is always very nice. There's this very unusual place called Randyland, where a guy has just taken used old junk and made it into art. It's very cool. So if you're into art, maybe Randyland or the Mattress Factory is also up that way. Okay, next slide. Closer to the hotel, if you hop across one of the bridges, you'll be able to get on these Gateway Clippers, which are these big boats in the top slide there. It might be worth checking and booking your tickets in advance. I don't know how busy they get in May, but sometimes people rent them out for parties and weddings and that sort of thing. So there's lots to do along the river too, if you are not a museum person. And then if you have kids, Bohan already mentioned the Children's Museum. I hear that that is very, very good and highly recommended. That we also have an amusement park in Pittsburgh, Kennywood, which is actually where the movie Adventureland was shot. And I think Bohan said that this has the oldest roller coaster in the United States. So if that doesn't frighten you, you can go and and try it. There's another adventure park a little further away, a longer drive away, called Idlewild, and there's this storybook forest there, which is highly recommended for kids as well. So both Kennywood and Idlewild are a little further out of the city. Idlewild is, I think, actually in Ohio. It might be a little further still, but plenty for kids to do if you have if you have a partner staying with the kids while you're attending the conference.
Mm-hmm. So Kennywood is the oldest wooden roller coaster that's still functioning, and that's the scary part of the story.
So if you are into bikes, oh, Jennifer has her hand up. Sorry.
It's okay. Idlewild and Storybook Forest are actually in about a little over an hour east of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And so the Storybook Forest is really nice for little kids, especially because they do the nursery rhymes, and there's little things that kids can crawl all over and learn about the different nursery rhymes. It's kind of really cool.
Oh. Thank you. I don't have kids, so I do not know these details. So thank you for sharing that. I knew it was a little further away. I just didn't know how much further. If you want to stay within the city and get a little further without taking an Uber, we do have a bike system where you can rent a bike, you pick them up at a station, bike somewhere, and drop them off at another station. They have pedal bikes and they have electronic bikes too. I would just advise you to go on their website, and they have a map showing you how many bikes are at each station at any one time, and that's always changing. So you want to make sure that you have you're going to a bike station that has bikes in it. There's one close to the hotel. These might be nice to take along the river, or if you want to go to our south side, where we have the Hofbrauhaus, big German beer place. And then I can see someone in the chat is asking about active taxi services. I do not use taxis that much in Pittsburgh. I see them about, but it's not like New York or something like that. Like you can't just like step out of a building and hail one down. I think you would have to like make a call to book one. Yeah, no, there is an app for using the bikes. And if you go on the POGOH website, there is an app that you can download to use the bikes. Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. So regarding the taxis, we don't have yellow cabs, but we have, I think, is it called Zipcar, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
I've seen them here and there. Yeah. But definitely there is a huge collection outside of the hotel, whatever it is, all the time. Either Ubers or Zipcars. All right, we go on to promoting shopping in the area if you are into that, or if you have a partner who is going to be taking care of the kids and shopping around. So the outlet malls, 150 miles to the north, maybe 53, and the other one is shorter, Thanger outlets, shorter to the south in the direction of Washington, PA, Washington, Pennsylvania. The strip district that has been mentioned a lot of times, it's not like the strip in Vegas. It's just the old, what is it, wholesale food and meat market where they used to offload the trains from one side and have an auction and then download it on the other side for local markets. Been renovated, renewed, and refabricated into this hub of young generation, etc. Lots of apartment complex and lots of shopping, especially if you're looking for some souvenirs, local flair, paraphernalia, and so on. And definitely the deals on the sidewalk, whether it's food or clothes, is worth checking into. A couple of decent places with a huge selection of like the Pen Mac cheeses and so on. And I don't know if Jennifer Burgoon wants to add, because she is definitely the more local than me for sure in this area.
I would say the one thing that's really nice about Pennsylvania is there's no sales tax on clothing. So if you do shop here, and it's a really great place to shop because there is no sales tax on clothing. So, but all these different areas, whether it's the Grove City outlets or downtown, really great places to shop.
Thank you. All right, Natasha, I'm going to leave you with this slide regarding what we are going to see nearer to where the workshops will be held.
Okay, yeah, so of course you're going to be in the workshops all the time, aren't you? Yeah. But if you do fancy taking a break or you want to pop somewhere over lunch, there are lots of things very close by. Right next to William Pitt Union, we first have the Cathedral of Learning. If you go to the next slide, Burhan. Yeah, so you can take the elevator or the stairs if you want. Climbing the stairs in this place is a thing that people do for exercise. You can go all the way to the top and take some great pictures of views of Pittsburgh. If you want to stay at the bottom, we have the nationality rooms, a bunch of rooms that have been decorated using furnishings and styles from different countries across the world. These are probably one of the most famous things on our Pitt campus. If you want to venture a little further away from where lunch is, if you go to the next slide, Burhan, we have the Carnegie Museum of Art and the Carnegie Museum of Natural History. Jennifer, do you want to add something here?
If you do go to the Carnegie Museum of Natural History, when you're buying your ticket, mention you're a teacher, and typically they'll do it some sort of discount. So that's nice.
Yes.
Nice, I did not know that. Thank you for sharing.
I have a family membership. I don't remember paying for anything because it's this annual renewal. Just wanted to add that the Carnegie Museum of Natural History has an extensive collection of dinosaurs that were actually collected, and other fossils, of course, collected for the museum. And at some point, they were so good at publishing on mammalian fossils, they had like 5 articles back to back on Science magazine. The Science, I believe, and one episode was a special issue for Carnegie Museum. But anyway, if you have kids, the Diplodocus carnegii is one of the herbivore huge dinosaurs, not the like the vicarant, that version of T-Rex is in the museum. So that's my plug for a place that is not far away. It's right here from the workshops. Okay, next is the Phipps Conservatory, a huge herbarium, the Kew Garden version of a herbarium collection. Orchid room, butterfly room, sculptors, glass sculptors are Chihulis, famous artists, and definitely worthwhile. The bonsai room, cacti room, and I don't know what the Italian Renaissance decorated room. If you don't find it interesting, I would be very surprised, but it is worth it. And there's a cafe and a restaurant in the first floor, right in the entrance here. You could just grab a sandwich and sit down, and that's not far away from the workshops at all. All right. Farther away, if you are going to drive a little bit, you are going to end up in Ohiopyle State Park. Bike trails are part of the Gap Trail, the Allegheny Passage that will reach all the way to Washington, D.C. So you could spend on the road, 4 or 5 days bicycling, depends on how far you want to go. And are we running over time, Caitlin?
A little bit, but I mean, we're going to record it. So if someone needs to leave, they can. But I think you're fine to keep going, Burhan.
Yes, I think that this is one of the last couple of slides. So this is recommended. Falling water is under renovation, but you might be able to enter just the premises. Kinta Knob is not, so you could enter that. These are marbles in the Laurel Highlands that were designed by the famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright. I had a friend who came all the way from Australia, from Sydney. He was in a meeting in the area and he stayed with me for a while. And he said, I have to go to Falling Water. I'm like, this is something amazing that all the way from Australia, he needs to see that before he goes back. And the last day you're thinking about going back to the airport from the sessions. And I think I'm going to leave the slide to Natasha because she had a better narrative than mine for talking about getting back to the airport.
Yeah, so if you want to go to the airport from the workshop area, right where our conference buses are dropping off and picking up, on that same road there, there is a bus stop where you can pick up the 28X to go back to the airport. And as I say, you can store your luggage at William Pitt Union. So if you want to do that, that's an option. Picking up an Uber will not be hard in Oakland either, and they can pick you up there. And then just stay tuned. So Caitlin, we don't have a slide on the conference app, but for the people who express being nervous and worried about getting lost, like get the conference app. Like even at the airport, you can like ahead, like there'll be chatter on the app well ahead of the conference, and like people are like, my flight's arriving at X time, does anyone want to share an Uber? Or perhaps if you're staying in a hotel outside the city and you're worried about that drive to downtown, get on the app and see if there's anyone who will carpool with you. So in fact, I would recommend carpooling into the city if you can. And so, yeah, don't be nervous. Like your questions will be answered on the app. You can find people who are going to the same place as you on the app. We will also share extra information on the app. Just of this week, Pittsburgh International Airport made some changes to its layout. This isn't going to affect you coming in. It will affect you when you go out. So they've changed where the security is. And so right now it's a little bit busy for people who want to fly out of Pittsburgh because there's a little bit of confusion with signs and things. And so we're hoping that that's all going to be ironed out by the time the conference ends. But if it's not, we'll post on the app and tell you this is what you need to look for when you're flying home. This is the checkpoint that you want to get to. And you know, perhaps allow yourself a little more time if Pittsburgh Airport is still a little bit chaotic due to that. So yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to mention one more thing. A lot of you are interested in the Pittsburgh Regional Transit, so I'll also add that we do have a trolley system in downtown, and it's free to ride the PRT trolleys downtown. They'll also take you to the North Shore. So it really is worth checking out the public transport system, even if you just want to stay downtown and visit a few things downtown. Okay, I'll shut up and give the floor to Caitlin.
No, you know more about Pittsburgh than I do. I was just going to give a couple updates. So I think that y'all have done a really good job of kind of acclimating everyone to Pittsburgh. Just a kind of a high view summary here. So when you are attending the full conference, that is from Wednesday until Friday. And that Wednesday to Friday is at the Wyndham Grand Pittsburgh Downtown Hotel. That conference kicks off on Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening rather, with a nice like low key kind of bingo activity to get your feet wet, and then a welcome reception. And then that next morning, Thursday morning, if you are a first timer or a second timer, you are invited to a special breakfast just for you so that you can either find a buddy as a first timer or as a second timer, kind of get plugged in and learn more about committees and how to get involved in HAPS, or just kind of see old friends that you met the year prior whenever you went to your first conference. And during those 2 days, so Thursday and Friday, we'll have exhibitors you can talk to, see update speakers and all of that. And then, you know, I think we've talked a fair amount about the workshops at University of Pittsburgh. And again, those buses that will take you to University of Pittsburgh from the Wyndham downtown will be loading, going all day. One bus will be going all day, and the transportation information will be in the app as well. And we'll send out kind of a pre-conference know before you go email next week with kind of everything outlined. And we'll post all of the slides and things like that on the website. But I would say that folks are very, very friendly in HAPS. Do not be afraid to ask. They are a very uplifting group. It's not, no question is a stupid question. And like I said, look out for me, Burhan, Natasha, Randy, or Allie. We are your guides, your friends throughout the conference. So just let us know if you need help.
Jennifer.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out one thing. If you take a look at the Pirates schedule, they are in town the whole week that we're there, during the whole time that we're there. One thing that's happening is that on Friday, May 23rd, there's a Pirates game at night, and there are fireworks after the game. And so where our hotel is situated, if you're on the one side of the hotel, you'll be able to see the fireworks. Pittsburgh does amazing fireworks. And so those should be going on. The game's at 6:40, so the fireworks should be around 9:30 or 10. So look for that Friday night.
Yeah.
Can I add to that, Jennifer? Thanks for mentioning that. Also, that Friday is 143 Day in Pennsylvania. So we briefly mentioned that we're in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. A few years ago, Pennsylvania made May 23rd, 143 Day, which remembers Mr. Rogers and being kind to people. Some people at our school like to wear cardigans and things to mimic him. So like that's a nice thing for us to do during the HAPS conference too. So remember, everyone, be kind as well.
I wanted to say one last thing. The local committee and some volunteer students are going to be wearing distinctive T-shirts. I believe we agreed on Pit Crew or HAPS 2025 Pit Crew. We're going to print those, and the committee and their students are going to be wearing those so that you could ask any question that you like.
And I think one question that we've been emailed a fair amount, I was going to mention in a recording so that it's living in perpetuity here. If you are a workshop only registrant and are not able to get to the hotel by Friday afternoon when we close registration, we will have a printed list of registrants for workshop only. So, you know, badges are required to get on the bus, but we will have a list of pre-registered folks so that you will be allowed on the bus. I think there were some concerns that they won't be able to, you know, get on the bus and take transportation, but we will have a list of folks that we can kind of check off if you haven't been able to register yet. And that registration desk will be located in William Pitt Union.
Good. Well, I think with that, we are done, Caitlin. That was my last slide.
Well, I really appreciate, and I know Larry, my co-chair of Welcoming and Belonging, has also appreciated this, and we really look forward to seeing everybody in Pittsburgh, and we'll share this out to all of the attendees along with the slides too, so that you guys can look at it in great detail, and be on the lookout for the app email that's going to be coming out tomorrow. So get excited, get plugged in, and start talking.
Okay, great. Thank you all.
Thank you. Excited to see you here.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.